so much for the opportunity for me to share with all of you in this place. For sure, I hope this session will equip you to be a better speaker and help you to deliver a whimsical speech. So I think it's so important to address this topic, which is body language. Before I start, if you see these photos or these pictures, what do you feel?
Happy.
Happy. See the smile, the baby smile, it's so irresistible, right? And what do you feel when you see this picture?
Depressed.
Stress, sad. How about this one?
Um, Sad actually.
Sad as well, right? So there is no words at all in these photos, but you somehow can feel the emotion behind. And that's also why it's the reason when we watch movie and the cinema, then sometimes we felt very touched and even we cry so much because there are an aspects of emotions that been conveyed to us, to the audience, through the gestures, the movement, the expressions. And sometimes without even any words, you somehow can feel the emotion behind. So that is the power of body language. So if we want to see and want to address how important it is, so from these words, we can say the audience will base their judgments of a speaker, not only from the message that they hear, but also from what they see. And even there's some time if you see and then what you hear is contradicts to each other, we tend to believe into what we see instead of what we hear. You probably ever notice someone that came to your office and then you read the gestures, the body language, the facial expression. You know that this person is not okay. But when you ask the person, hi, how are you? And then she said, yeah, I'm fine, I'm good. You will not believe that because you see the gestures, the body language and expression not saying the same thing. So from this, we know that we tend to believe and we will get the message more from their body language instead of what they say. So that's why the importance of speech. When you say something, when you talk as a public speaker, or when you do a conversation, people do notice your body language. So that's why it's important to learn about this topic because movement attracts and keeps audience attention. A stationary speaker is more likely lose the audience interest. So we want to equip you to become a better speaker, not only in crafting your message, but also in delivering your message. So talking about this body language, there are three things that will be topics that we will discuss today. The first is the facial expression, second gestures, and the last is the whole body movement itself. Let's go with the first one, facial expression. Facial expression is the key, is often become the key to the meaning behind the message itself. So you will see the face, you will see the eyes. You probably ever heard these quotes that eyes is actually speaking. So that's what the point of facial expression. Your facial expression have a power to impress your audience. What you have to do as a speaker, first you need to match your facial expression to the spoken words. So let's say you share something that is sad, then your facial expression have to show that you really sad. And if you tell something that happy about games, about something that is fun about your holiday, then your facial expression have to show that as well. When you match your facial expression with the message that you said, it becomes something that is stronger. And not to say the eye contact as well. You need to make all the audience in the room feels that you're communicating personally to them. So if you do an online like this, make sure your eye is looking at the camera. If you do an speaking on stage, make sure you guessing the audience from left to right in the middle. Make sure you want to speak as if you want to speak to them personally. So it is how to maximize your facial expression to bring the meaning into your speech. And the second things about body language is talking about the gestures. There are several things that we can talk about the gestures. But basically, gestures will reinforce your verbal message and convey a specific thought or even emotion. Let's see how. Small gestures, big impact. Gesture can be made by any part of the body, but most are made with hands and arms. That's why when you do an online speech like this, it's important that your arms and hands can be seen through the screen. So do not only show your face or even like half face, because you will lose the power of gestures. So avoid also nervous mannerisms such as fidgeting with jewelry, like you playing with your ring, or sometimes you play with the pen, or you put your hands in the pocket and then play with the keys inside. It sometimes is our way to cope with nervousness, but actually it's really distract, and sometimes it even annoyed the audience. So it's better to hold your hand like this, or put your hand like this in the middle and then just stand still. It's easier to do that way instead of like you need to put it inside. It's better to do that instead of put your hands inside your pockets. And conversely, if you already felt that you are confident, you can play with your hand as well. Strong and purposeful complementary gesture will strengthen your message and add interest to your presentation. Let's say you want to emphasize certain point, then you can use your hand gestures. Or you want to say that you need to reflect on something. You want the audience to take the message into their heart. These kind of hand gestures can help them to can help you to convey your message. The frequency and figure of gestures must be appropriate for the words. Match the gestures to the audience size. So if you have a big stage, then you can move around and use a big gestures. But let's say if you talk in a small stage like this in the online setting, then you also need to minimize your hand gestures. Otherwise, it will distract the audience as well. Okay. There are three types of gestures that we're going to learn today. The first is conventional gestures. If you see this, what it convey? It usually convey to stop, right? So that's what we call as conventional gestures, as symbols for words such as raise hand or for the word stop, and two raise finger for number two. So this is conventional. It means you use this to deliver a message. Everybody knows about this. There are second type of gestures, which is descriptive gestures. Descriptive gestures describe the idea you are communicating, such as holding the hands apart to show the length, or moving hand and arms to indicate shapes. So let's say you want to say it's a big river. Only saying without showing it, it will be different when compared when you say like, this is a very big river. So when you show and when you put emphasis on your tone, it will give a different emotions. The last, we call it as emotional gestures, suggest feelings such as shaking and clenched fist to show anger or determination, or shrugging your shoulder to show indifference. So you also can convey emotion through your hand gestures. So pay attention to these three things. When you deliver a message, how can you use these three types of gestures to strengthen your message? The last but not least is the whole body movement itself. Too bad that I cannot show much because I have a limited screen here, a limited stage. But you know that you can also play in the real state, in the on-site stage. Your whole body movement itself is a part of body language. It's about your speaker stance and also your movement. So what I want to suggest to you is to move with purpose. So not only moving because you want to be seen to, you want to be seen to able to master the stage, but when you move, you have a purpose behind it. So what you can do is to first of all, is to have a relaxed and a balanced speaking stance. It will provide you a solid starting point from which to gesture and move in any direction. This also will decrease nervousness and help you to feel poised and comfortable. So before you start any speech, just stand up straight and have a balanced stance. It will also help to boost your confidence as well. And after you start, then you can start to varying your position during your presentation. It also will help you to provide visual transition from one point to the speech to the next one, and it helps the audience to focus as well. So let's say you have 3 points in your speech. Then you can stand on the left sides of the stage when you mention about the first point, and you can start to move on the right side of the stage when you start to explain your second point. And at the end, you can move to the middle, explain the third point, and close it with conclusion. It will help the audience to focus. When you move, it means you also move to the next point. So that's what the whole body movement can do as well. So I think that would be the thing that I will share to you. So always remember that the language of body language, it's really one of the key that can unlock the soul. It's not only about what you say, it's about how you say it. So hopefully it helped you to become a better and a stronger speaker.